When a movie meant to tell a story about love and heartbreak becomes the stage for a real-life legal nightmare, the entire industry watches. The feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni over It Ends With Us has spiraled into something that resembles the very domestic turmoil depicted in the film itself. What started as behind-the-scenes tension has transformed into a multi-million-dollar legal battle that's shaking Hollywood to its core, with unsealed documents, damaging text messages, and accusations that touch far more than just creative differences. The genesis of the conflict, the problems between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, began long before any legal paperwork was filed. It Ends With Us, based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel about domestic violence, was released in August 2024 to commercial success. The film starred Lively as Lily Bloom and Baldoni as Ryle Kincaid, with Baldoni also serving as the director. The chemistry on screen was convincing, but behind the scenes, an entirely different story was unfolding. During the movie's production, which took place across New Jersey in 2023 and 2024, Lively began experiencing what she would later describe as a hostile work environment. Baldoni acquired the film rights to the novel in 2019, and production officially began in May 2023 in Hoboken before moving to Jersey City. Early photographs from the film set sparked criticism from fans and observers who questioned the creative direction. Some criticized Lively's costume choices as chaotic and disheveled. The working relationship between the director and his lead actress deteriorated as production continued. The initial problems centered around alleged inappropriate behavior from Baldoni. According to Lively's legal filings, Baldoni made sexual comments on set, spoke openly about his personal intimate life, including discussions about a previous pornography addiction, and even improvised physical contact during intimate scenes that hadn't been choreographed or discussed beforehand. Lively raised her concerns to the production team, and according to Baldoni's defense, these issues were addressed and changes were implemented. However, Lively's account tells a different story about how seriously these warnings were treated and what happened next. The tension between the two grew as the production continued, affecting the overall atmosphere on set. The problem wasn't just what occurred during filming, it was what came after. When the film's promotional tour began in July 2024, observant fans and media outlets noticed something peculiar. Justin Baldoni's presence in promotional activities seemed notably reduced compared to what would be typical for a director and co-star. Lively was out promoting the film extensively, but Baldoni appeared to be stepping back. Speculation filled entertainment news cycles about whether there was tension between the leads, but the full truth remained hidden from the public eye. The public exposure and legal bombshell in December 2024, the entire situation exploded into the public sphere. Lively filed a formal complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment during and after the filming of It Ends With Us. The complaint was initially confidential, as is standard for such filings, but the news eventually reached major media outlets, including the New York Times. This wasn't a simple social media accusation or an anonymous industry report. This was an official legal complaint from a major actress against her director and co-star. Things escalated rapidly from there. In January 2025, Baldoni filed a countersuit against Lively and her husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, seeking $400 million in damages and accusing them of orchestrating a smear campaign against him. He denied all allegations of misconduct and suggested that any issues on set were simply misunderstandings and awkward comments that had been resolved. Lively fired back with her own civil lawsuit in federal court, expanding her allegations to include claims of retaliation and a coordinated campaign to damage her reputation after she spoke up about her experiences. The sealed documents that changed everything. The really shocking revelations came when hundreds of previously confidential documents were unsealed in January 2026. Text messages, emails, voice messages, and deposition excerpts became public record, exposing conversations between studio executives, the film's team, and other parties involved in the production and promotion of It Ends With Us. These communications painted a troubling picture of internal conflict and blame shifting that extended far beyond the director and actress relationship. Within the unsealed messages were conversations between Sony Pictures executives who publicly supported Lively yet privately criticized her conduct. In one particularly damning message, an executive referred to her as a terrorist. Other executives blamed Lively for amplifying negative publicity, specifically criticizing her decision to promote her personal hair care brand during the film's marketing period. Some communications characterized her actions as epic-level stupid and suggested she had orchestrated all this drama in a totally unsavvy and amateur way. The emails painted a picture of a studio that was frustrated with their star actress and questioned her judgment despite publicly standing by her side. More significantly, the unsealed documents revealed that Baldoni and his team had enlisted a crisis public relations firm to manage the situation. This PR company, led by Melissa Nathan, was accused of orchestrating what Lively's team called an astroturfing campaign, essentially a manufactured grassroots effort designed to turn public opinion against her. The goal was allegedly to paint Lively as difficult, unprofessional, and untrustworthy before her allegations against Baldoni could gain traction. Data analysis from a behavioral intelligence company showed coordinated, inauthentic narratives across social media designed to attack Lively, with overlapping accounts that also pushed unrelated celebrity narratives. This suggested a sophisticated multi-platform strategy to damage her credibility. The trial drama and legal setbacks. By early 2026, the case became even more complicated. Settlement negotiations in February failed after 6 hours of mediation, with both sides firmly rejecting any settlement offer. Judge Louis Lemon, overseeing the case in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, initially set a trial for March 9, 2026, but postponed it to May 18 due to other cases taking legal priority in the court system. In April 2026, Judge Lemon dismissed 10 out of 13 claims in Lively's lawsuit, including her sexual harassment claims against Baldoni personally. The dismissal resulted from legal technicalities rather than a finding of unfounded allegations. Lively was classified as an independent contractor rather than an employee, meaning federal sexual harassment protections didn't apply to her situation. Additionally, some incidents occurred in New Jersey rather than California, raising jurisdictional questions about which state's laws should govern the case. This left only 3 claims standing: retaliation, aiding and abetting retaliation, and breach of contract. The focus shifted to whether Baldoni and his team engaged in a coordinated smear campaign to retaliate against Lively after she spoke up about her experiences on set. As both sides prepared their cases, the stakes remained extraordinarily high. The broader implications. What makes this feud so significant is that it reveals the machinery of Hollywood damage control operating in real time. A major actress spoke up about uncomfortable and inappropriate workplace behavior, and instead of addressing those concerns directly, a sophisticated PR operation allegedly swung into action to discredit her before her voice could be heard. Whether intentional or not, the unsealed documents show a pattern of industry insiders protecting a man with creative power while attempting to minimize and neutralize the concerns raised by a woman with less control over the narrative. The case has also drawn attention to author Colleen Hoover, whose novel inspired the film. In November 2025, Hoover publicly stated that she was almost embarrassed to have her name attached to the project because the lawsuit had so thoroughly overshadowed the work itself. The irony wasn't lost on observers. A story written about domestic violence and emotional abuse in relationships had become the backdrop for a real-life conflict that raised serious questions about power dynamics and the treatment of women in Hollywood. The ongoing battle as the case moves toward trial in May 2026, both sides refuse to budge. Settlement talks have failed repeatedly. Lively's team continues to argue that the astroturfing campaign was the real crime, a coordinated effort to silence and discredit her. Baldoni's legal team maintains that their client did nothing wrong and that any issues on set were resolved at the time they were raised. The amount of money at stake, the high profiles involved, and the questions about workplace conduct and PR manipulation all contribute to making this one of the most watched legal battles in recent entertainment history. The Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni feud represents a perfect storm of creative conflict, power imbalances, alleged misconduct, and a sophisticated machinery of reputation management operating in the shadows. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when workplace concerns are met with coordinated counterattacks rather than genuine accountability. As the trial date approaches, Hollywood is watching closely because the outcome will say something significant about whether powerful figures can silence those who speak up against them, or whether accountability finally has a chance to prevail. This feud transcends typical celebrity gossip. It's about the systems that protect certain people while diminishing others, and whether those systems are finally beginning to crack under public scrutiny and legal pressure.